Okay, let's talk politics.
Yeah, okay. So, um, do you follow any of the, politic trends lately, especially the presidential voting that will come literally 7 days from now? Do you
Yeah,
follow any of
on
the
Valentine's Day,
trends?
on the 14th.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, exactly on the Valentine's Day.
yeah, I don't really I myself I don't really I can't really vote myself. I'm not even the legal age to vote yet. But social media, it's everywhere. You can see it's mostly Prabowo that you see in the Prabowo supporters in the comment section, all in number two, all in number two, all in number two.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, if you watch on his channel, like he's going to be the one being highlighted.
I mean, it's
But
not even his channel. Like the political speakers and like the TikTok and like podcasters, even like when they're supporting Ganjar or whatever, it's
oh
you
yeah,
can
okay,
still see.
everyone talks about Prabhu because let's just say the way he participates in the election, and especially Gibran, um, they're the ones making the most controversy.
Yeah, and like with Gibran, like not actually uh he was not actually eligible to be the vice president.
He wasn't actually eligible in the aspect of age,
Yeah, so
but
it's like
suddenly the
not ethical.
constitution was changed,
Yeah,
and
and
then it really left a bad taste on
yeah,
most
what
people.
Bravo basically like lost what like three times now, two times. It
Yeah,
like
he's basically the embodiment of okay, I
yeah,
will I will fight to my last drop of my
yeah.
blood.
I'd say his presidential campaign team right now is much better than it was like a few years ago. During like the Jokowi versus Bravo campaign.
What on what grounds that you think
It's
the
much better
campaign
in the
team is
aspects
better?
of they're kind of I don't know, they're serving the Gen Z population by, doing all making Bravo seem like this um great guy that's but it's all almost like propaganda. I don't really
Yeah,
know
exactly.
his his
Okay,
stances on everything.
did you watch any of the debates?
I
The
have.
first,
I
second,
have. Yes.
and
Honestly, in my
which
opinion,
one did you watch? Did
I
you
think
also
I've
watch the
watched
vice
all of them.
presidential debate?
Yes, I've watched the Chopres and Wajapres wait, Chawapres debates. It's what I can say is this. The very powerful speakers are Prabo and Ganjar and their vice presidents. Well, they're what is Chalon in English?
Candidates.
Yeah, candidate like their president candidates. Anis and his vice president is candidate is very not soft spoken. They're very out of the picture in my opinion. People don't really talk about them.
Okay, did you notice that in the very first debate, Anis basically blatantly attacked Prabowo,
Yeah, that's also why there was
attacked him
controversy.
personally. He is
Yeah,
is not even answering the question from the moderators.
yeah. There's like controversy about like him not going to shake Anis or Ganjar's hand after the debate. And there was like controversies of saying like, oh well, I'm an elder, they should come to me. And it's like, okay. And I don't know why Gen Z is like really
Okay, that
supporting Bravo or
is
like Ganjar, but I feel like they're very weak candidates from what I can see. Anis, I don't really see from Anis as well. Their campaigns, their like social media campaigns are very good, in my opinion. Uh, but other than
Anies?
that, Anis, no, not Anis. Ganjar and Prabowo.
Oh yeah. Because in Prabowo's side you have Gibran,
Yeah,
which which
the
effectively are millennials,
yeah, which
and
is the um the son of the current president Jokowi Dodo. So you can smell the nepotism straight up from there. Uh,
I
you
mean,
have you
okay,
it is nepotism.
yeah, that's the thing,
He is the governor of what Surakarta?
whatever the actual cause is, the constitution change thing, whatever the actual purpose is, you can't blame people for having the thoughts of, oh my God, here we go again, another political dynasty, because the
Exactly.
constitution was changed in a really, really wrong time.
Yeah, that
Like,
is
well, oh,
it benefits.
my son is about to participate in an election, and suddenly the constitution changed. So
Yeah.
my son would be eligible.
Yeah, what is like Gibran? What is Gibran? It's like 38 something. Vice President,
38. Should,
yeah, it should be 40,
uh,
right?
yep, should be
Should be
40.
40. So that 2 year thing is it seems very convenient that they go down two
Exactly. Oh,
years. Why not
okay.
five? Why
It's
do
not
they?
that. It's not that. Okay. I'm not trying to play the devil's advocate here, but okay, I do agree that in a democratic nation, there shouldn't be any age restriction. I mean, the
I'd say
way
it's a
democracy should
good.
work, it should be like, okay, you can actually make a baby participate in an election, but who's gonna vote for a baby
I'd say
anyway?
it should go off by like the minimum requirement is like how long you've spent in office,
Yes, it
like
should
in
be like his
parliament or as
minimum
a governor.
political. It should be his minimum political experience, not his age.
Yeah, I'd say at
Like,
least maybe I don't know, 10 years is it's probably good enough.
yeah, I think that would be fair, and I think you, you should also be, in a certain minimum position, because if it's 10 years, but you only spend your time as, well, RT or Lurah, it's not going to be enough at all.
I don't
I
think
mean,
that's
it's
ever gonna
technically
be like
political experience,
yeah.
but the scale is way too small. It just doesn't. It's not even. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Also, what is like being brought up with the controversy with especially Prabhu is his history of infamous acts that he is allegedly he's accused of. He allegedly hard quotes on the
Kidnap.
allegedly kidnapped and what is it murdered or
Yeah.
silenced
So
a protester in the 90s, I believe, right?
yes, 90s.
During the
Specifically
monetary crisis.
1998,
Yeah,
the
dab straight in the
independence rebellion of Jakarta.
yeah. Not a great time to be a Chinese Indonesian,
Oh yeah,
Indonesian of Chinese
I
descent in
actually
Jakarta.
I actually still remember back then. My dad gathered up with the neighbors, and they basically guarded the entrance of the residence back then.
Oof. So did
Yeah.
your family live in Jakarta back then?
Oh yeah, already live in Jakarta.
Oh, okay. Because my family still lived in Surabaya, so
Oh yeah,
um
it's safe.
it was safe. It was safe.
It's,
So all that history aside, and then like Anis was also the butt of the joke of his governing position when he was the governor of Jakarta. He was blamed for the in numerous floods that were happening during I think the pandemic or before the pandemic. Anis Baswedan is has I don't know. not the best track record
Not
with
that.
the people of Indonesia.
I mean, also the numerous amount of government funds misuses, and for some reason is not getting investigated. It's just weird. It's like, I mean, don't you think it's a quite obvious abuse of funds when, you know, the bills of supplying children, school students with glues, the bills are around what, 80 billion
Yeah, I think
rupiah
they're
per
spending
year
their funds on the wrong
for glue,
things. Yeah.
for supplying glue. Say,
I'd say
yeah,
one of the most useless of what do you call those?
it's the most wasteful 5 years Jakarta has ever experienced.
Honestly, it's
Now
kind of
you're letting
saddening.
this guy lead Indonesia. You're
I'd say during his moderator era, when he was like the moderator of like the debates and stuff, he was pretty, I don't know, he seemed pretty good. But like during the debates, he has just like been contradicting himself in the past so much. There are like so many clips of him basically saying the opposite of what he said like maybe like a year ago or 2 years ago. I don't know how long these clips were or how old these
okay.
clips
Well,
were.
one of the most infamous speech that he ever blabbered from his pie hole would be, when he blatantly said, "Oh, rainwater should be absorbed by the soil, not flowing through the big man-made sewers because it violates the law of Allah." And now, and 4 years later, he basically used the sewers to mitigate the floods.
I'd say bringing religion into it, I guess,
Yeah,
drive it,
and,
it
and,
it brings the people to him. I'd say that's
he's doing the same sin in his current presidential campaign. Like he's bringing the religious sympathy once more.
we've seen the religion card being put with Ahok, and you see how well that turned out for him. Not
Exactly.
throwing shit at him, but you don't mess around with the or like any religions in Indonesia because the radicalism is very 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 strong.
Yeah, yeah, I get that's the
Especially with the
point.
majority.
Yeah, so that's really sad of a thing. But okay, so the million-dollar question: if you were at legal age to vote for the upcoming presidential vote, which candidate would you vote?
Okay, just for context, because I think this is important. My family are voting for number two, Prabowo and Gibran. So
On what grounds? Oh, okay, that's interesting. On what grounds? Because okay, I'm a I'm a believer for number three, but I think there are there are actually quite a lot of people that votes number two for, even when I think it's a mistake, it's still from a good reason at the very
okay,
least. So
so you support Anis and what, Mahfud, I think, or what is this?
basically, I'm voting for Ganjar Mahfud.
Oh, Ganjar Mahfud. Oh, isn't Ganjar number one?
That's number three.
Oh,
Number one
number three.
is Anis Muhaimin.
Ah, nobody's voting for them.
So okay,
Nobody's voting for them.
my family and most of my peers, we have, when it comes to the presidential voting, we have similar mindset in which, okay, the most ideal scenario would be, okay, number 3 wins, low key, number 2, it's still kind of okay, but
Yeah.
under any circumstances, we can't let number 1 win.
Exactly. I think that's like the mindset of some people. I think there was like that one podcast that described it best. I think that this is coming from an I think a Ganjar supporter that said this. So with the problem of food, Prabowo will feed the people that are hungry. Ganjar will feed or like Prabowo will feed them, but not really think about the future on how they will eat next time. Ganjar will feed them, but also think about their future. You know, like the common quote of teach a man to fish, they will fish forever. Give a man a fish, they'll eat for a day. And lastly, Anis, he both doesn't give the food and doesn't care about uh, teaching the people or like giving the resources.
He's just blabbering empty promises time to
Exactly.
time.
I, I I think I would vote number 2. Not affected like with the my family's decision or anything, but just because they're I think from the debates I've seen, I don't know, I don't really know their like the laws they want to implement and all the promises. But I think um aside from Gibran's mistakes and you know how he talked about like what is it like
You mean
sulfate
the scandal
the
about Gibran's gesture? The one that
yeah
he acted like this?
I think that was funny honestly the people are being sensitive.
Oh yeah, it's I think it's quite funny, but honestly, yeah, it's a bit improper. I mean, not because he's younger than Mahfoud, but it's
It's a
not
presidential
proper to
debate.
do that in a presidential debate. This is not a comedy
Yeah,
show.
I could see the frustration from his side though. I if he didn't do it, it would be way more better. But I feel like the Indonesian population should just chill out.
Mhm.
There are like points like with Ganjar like misinterpreting Prabowo's like statements. I think one was he was asking Ganjar if he supported or if he believes that the mothers and the kids should be fed their proper nutrients and like should be like what like given by the government like help or something so that the pregnant mothers will have a higher
Oh,
mortality rate.
yeah. Okay.
And then Ganjar saying, "Oh, I don't support that at all. I believe that the what do you call it? The nutrient should be given to the mother before
Before even the baby
baby
is born.
yeah is born because that is how you prevent stunting." But Bravo basically already said that in his question slash statement. More actually, it's more geared as a statement. Um, at the latter half of his statement, he said to prevent uh, the pregnant mothers dying from giving birth. Prevent. You see, the keyword is preventing. So that in itself also means that you know he will give the proper supplements to the mother and etc. So I don't know. Ganjar is like trying in that debate, especially he was trying to sort of vindicate
But
uh with no basis,
yeah,
in my
I
opinion.
can see your point there. I mean, now I'm curious, like, what exactly did Prabhos ask Ganjar? I mean, word by word. It's interesting. I mean, um, if it, if Ganjar actually misinterpreted what Prabhu asked, like,
I believe they had the same
you're
stance. They both have the same stance about it. But it's just they don't understand each other because they're so caught up in each other like their own statements and like what the PR team is telling them what they're supposed to say. Oh, you're supposed to say this. You're supposed to disagree with them. But they both believe in the same stuff. Like
yeah, I would say like they actually believe um in you know, they believe in they have similar beliefs in a lot more things than they thought, I think.
Yeah. But what I don't like with the Prabowo supporters is the supporters who only vote for him because he's quote unquote gamoy.
Oh my God, I
Those are
really
the people I dislike, because voting based on the basically propaganda being blurted out in social media is not the it's
it's
not
like one of those people that voted Sandiaga Uno because he's handsome.
exactly it's I it this presidential campaign has honestly become a complete meme. uh
I mean, honestly, every
Ganjara with the
single
Ketua Bokep thing with the penguins,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Yeah, he blatantly admitted it. What's wrong with watching porn? I like it.
It's like,
What?
what's wrong? I like so
Oh, I appreciate his honesty.
I appreciate his honesty
It's
with
down to
honesty.
earth,
Yeah,
and also okay. Um, in my opinion, what turns me off against voting Prabo is that when he said in one of his campaigns, he said, "Oh, anyone that chooses free internet rather than free food are basically stunted on their brains." What the? What? And he can't even pronounce prosthesis correctly. Like you know, it it is so noticeable when they start talking about science and technology and the future. Probably doesn't know shit about anything.
you can see that his PR team definitely didn't like brief him like fully beforehand.
It is basically way too ancient to leap for the future.
Yeah.
It is a relic of the past, I think.
Yeah. One main point that is being like or like two main points that is being I think the Ganjar supporters and the Ani supporters that are like against Bravo are saying is number one, that Gibran is not even eligible, and him being chosen for being the candidate of vice president is unethical. That's number one. Number two is Prabowo's history of him marrying into Suharto's family, the dictator of Indonesia for 32 years, 30, I don't know.
32 years,
Yeah,
yeah.
32
32 years,
years.
exactly.
He married into the family, and his alleged war crimes or human rights violations in 98. So those two points are really, I guess, being hammered hammered down by the other two candidates' supporters, which I think they should investigate even more into before
Yeah,
they.
I mean, and also I think okay, even me as Ganjar supporter, I think it's not a strong enough reason or even a good enough reason
Because it's
to
alleged,
avoid voting for Prabowo just because just by accusing his alleged past and about Gibran's supposedly illegitimate participation
Yeah.
in the presidential.
But
I
also
think
like
you
most of
really need.
his most
Hmm?
of his voters, like Prabowo's voters, are probably going to be Gen Z. That's like what I see, because my neighbors who are openly like supporting Ganja are like they're in the Gen X to Boomer, I think,
Gen X, Boomer,
age.
and all, and some millennials.
Millennials, yeah, someone else, because they are really targeting Gen Z for like the votes here
Yep.
for
And
for
well,
Bravo, because
basically,
also
when
they
someone's
don't
voting
know
for
like
number two,
they didn't live through 98, so they don't know.
exactly. And let's be real. When someone's voting for number two, they're actually interested in Gibran, not Prabowo.
Yeah, because they
So
are
let's be real.
Joko's son.
And
Exactly.
again, if since, well, Gibran is supposedly still green, if number two wins the election, you're basically getting another Jokowi as vice president, at least, as the de facto vice president, if you think about it.
I mean, yeah,
Like, I think
he could like
Gibran will get lots of advices from Jokowi behind the
or
screen.
Jokowi's team, they're gonna like just jump from Jokowi and then they'll jump to Gibran as vice president. You even seen like Prabowo with Jokowi having like dinner or like eating someplace together. So it's
yeah, that one also became a scandal.
yeah, I don't know what they were discussing there, but
wow, Jokowi is basically he's becoming another tyrant. He is establishing his political
yeah.
dynasty.
But Jokowi's image, like right now, is like, or like even
very
before,
tarnished.
it's very tarnished. Also, but I don't know. He seemed as like the elder or like Pak De. So
Yes.
everyone is like supporting him and his son now. So